Hello, I'm Glenn Hargett, and I'm here with Lynn Kimbrough, who's an external affairs specialist with FEMA. And we're going to talk a little bit about what now is happening with FEMA in our community. Lynn, thank you so much for being here.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Tell us what we should be telling people in our community that they should be doing now.
Well, I think a lot of folks already know that they should, if they have uninsured damages, they still have unmet needs, that they need to apply for disaster assistance. And there are now 3 ways that people can do that. They can do it online at disasterassistance.gov. They can call the helpline at 1-800-621-3362. And we have a disaster recovery center that's now up and running in Jacksonville, and that's at 312 Western Boulevard. If people have been successful in putting their disaster application either online or through the telephone, there isn't necessarily a need for them to visit the Disaster Recovery Center. But that's a really good resource if people still need some help or need to speak with someone kind of face-to-face, either to resolve an unmet need, they need a resource they're not connected with yet, or in some cases, people are in need of having to update their application. And I can tell you just a little bit more about that as we talk. But sometimes it's nice to do those things in person. But if someone is already registered, they have their application was accepted and nothing's in pending status, there wouldn't necessarily be a need for them to have to visit the Disaster Recovery Center.
Indeed, it's going to get quite busy out there too, is it not?
One of the things that, when someone had asked me yesterday, what should they bring, I only kind of half-jokingly said a little patience, because there is a lot of need that is still out in the community, and so the wait at the Disaster Recovery Center can seem a little long. So it may or may not be a quick trip if you do need to speak with someone in person, but it is a great resource. And the Disaster Recovery Center has our partners in place as well. So you can also speak with a representative from the Small Business Administration, where they have low-interest disaster loans for individuals, not just businesses, with someone from the state who has resources, and some of our other partners.
Well, that's a good thing, but online and by phone, they're clearly a faster way of just putting it in for the initial, and perhaps even for follow-up, you can go online and see where your status is pending at that time.
Yes, I have heard that some people are still having a long wait on the telephone, so early morning, late in the evening may still be good to try if you're trying to get through on the telephone. And you bring up a good point. I would like to let folks know that once you register, it's still an ongoing relationship with us, especially if you weren't home when you put your application in. Perhaps you didn't know what to put down for your damages. There are things that you will need to do to continue to update your information with FEMA. And so to call and to go online to keep us updated with contact information, with the damages you actually found when you got home, with documents that we may need that you didn't happen to have with you at the time of your application. So we want to stay in conversation.
And of course, your bank account, because you folks have already made some payments as a result of the information that was initially put in.
One of the things that you're asked for at the time that you apply for disaster assistance is your bank account information, and that is because the FEMA grants are direct deposited into those accounts. So to have that information is really handy as well. You're absolutely right.
Now, some people, however, have received letters already, denial letters. Can you speak to what that entails?
So a denial letter may be simply a notice to a disaster survivor that your disaster application has hit a pause because we need more information. And there could be any number of reasons for that. So I really encourage everyone, don't throw away your communication, your letter, without really reading it first, because you'll want to read through that letter to see what exactly it's talking about. People may receive a denial letter if they didn't have some documentation that was needed, if there was there could have been any number of reasons. So there may just be another piece of information we need. Sometimes we haven't been able to connect with you. Maybe there was a scheduled inspection and you didn't get that notice, and so the inspector has taken you off the list, and now your disaster application is kind of in this pause mode, so read through it. If you have a question, the Disaster Recovery Center is a great place. Bring your letter and someone can speak with you face to face. If you are denied, if you are found ineligible, and you think it's wrong, you're just like, well, this is wrong, there is an appeal process, and that is outlined in that communication as well. So read all of your communication from FEMA, and know that there is an appeal process at the end of the day if you think that the wrong decision was made.
And we understand that transitional housing has now been approved for this community. Can you speak a little bit about what that is?
So people who have already applied for disaster assistance and are eligible, you still need help with temporary sheltering. You would receive a direct notification from FEMA that you're eligible for transitional sheltering assistance, and that enables you to go, you can go online or call the number to get a list of participating hotels. And then it would be up to you to call that hotel to see if they have a room. You book the room, but FEMA pays for it. So there is no out-of-pocket cost to someone who is taking advantage of the transitional sheltering program. It's still a short-term sheltering. It's transitional. It's in the name there, yes. But we're hoping that that's an additional resource that we can support our disaster survivors as they begin this recovery.
And of course, the theme of what we want to say is you need to get registered. You need to go online or go to this disaster center or make the phone call and to become eligible for any of all these programs as it is.
Yes, and there's one other thing. So you may do your disaster assistance application. You may be referred to some FEMA programs, and a lot of disaster assistance is provided by our partners, other federal agencies, the state, even the local community. So it may or may not be a FEMA resource directly. But you may also be referred to the Small Business Administration. And I know you've talked with our colleagues at the Small Business Administration, but I just want to remind people that referral doesn't mean you need to take out a loan. But by doing that application, you may open the door to some other assistance that you would not otherwise be connected with.
And don't let the name fool you. You don't have to have a
fool you.
business to be a part of this.
Yeah.
That's just simply the agency that is administering this part of the project.
Yes, and there are some specific types of disaster assistance. Well, it's tough to say after you've said it several times in a row, but there are some specific types of disaster assistance that only become available after you've done that Small Business Administration application. It's a funky system, but if you get the referral, follow through on that process.
But it all starts with the registration.
It
Lynn,
does.
thank you so much for being with us, and thank you for this information.